Oh, hello. My name is Mara, and welcome to Books Like Whoa. Alrighty, it is time for a book haul once again, and I really appreciate, guys, in my last haul, the thoughtful comments I kind of had raised, like, hey, just with everything going on at the time with, the pandemic, that was my concern. Since then, there's been other major serious things going on. And I said, hey, I don't know, like, is this something that you guys are still interested in seeing? I feel a little conflicted about it, let me know. And actually, I don't even think there was anyone who didn't feel this way, who at least took the time to leave a comment, was, no, it's still really fun to see hauls. It gives us ideas for books that we might be interested in, and it's just like some nice escapism in these times. So with that in mind, I am going to continue hauling for now. I also enjoy watching them, but I'm aware of just sort of the complex world we live in with kind of competing potential approaches one could take to overt consumerism in this time. Anyway, that being said, I'm excited to show you guys what I have today, and I have another mystery box. We'll get to it. I'm addicted. It's a problem. Okay, so let's start. Why don't we start with maybe my pre-orders and we can go from there? Okay, so I have two pre-orders. The first one's probably not a surprise, Hideaway from Nora Roberts. This is the yearly kind of standalone thrillery thing that she puts out, though I will tell you, increasingly, there's not that many thrills, but I don't care. I still really enjoy them. So I actually just finished Undercurrents, which was the one she put out last year. I'm in the middle of this one right now, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very slow paced. It's very just like hanging out with characters that you enjoy. There's a little bit of action at the beginning, and then it's going to be a very slow book from there. But I love these, and I'm not mad at her approach. So I'm excited to finish this one, but I definitely got this as a pre-order. And then the other pre-order for me that came in was Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas. I had the opportunity to actually interview-ish or host Elizabeth Thomas on a panel, Social Distance Book Fest this year, and she was a delight. She sold me on this book, and it finally came in. So I'm excited to get to this. It's not as long as I thought it might be, and it's like an academic mystery kind of thing, which actually sounds really good. Maybe I'm gonna read this afternoon, I don't know. Anyway, so this was the other pre-order that came in for me. And then maybe we'll do Book of the Month Club next. Hey folks, it's future me coming at ya. So little did I know, right after I filmed this video, there was a big dust up about Book of the Month Club, and it's like a whole thing. Basically, there was some call outs around Book of the Month Club in terms of how it was compensating online creators who were doing promos, potentially inequitably based on race, representation in the book selections for the club itself, and in diversity in its staff. So honestly, none of these things are that surprising because Book of the Month Club is a reflection of the world around us. And that I think is a pretty accurate reflection of the world around us in terms of systemic prejudices and systemic issues. I will say, so I kind of wasn't sure what to do with this. And to me, this one was less clear cut than, for instance, kind of like Book Outlet, because I do think that Book of the Month Club has responded better. And I think that there's a little bit of a divide looking at kind of if there's a consensus. I think some people feel more positively about their response. They did come out with like, here's an action plan of what we are going to do to address these concerns. While I don't love the discrepancy between what allegedly we're offering to different online content creators, I will say that some of that is because I think there's not enough education to online content creators about negotiating and like getting what you're worth. I am always happy, by the way, for people who are coming up and are starting to try to figure out what to ask for things like that. Like, I am happy to talk to people kind of about how I think about that. But anyway, to say, I kind of appraised that situation, and where I landed was, I don't think that Book of the Month Club is perfect for now. I do think that their action plan sounds reasonable, and therefore I'm going to kind of wait and see. Part of what tipped me over to that side is that what I honestly keep my subscription to them for is the ability to get hardback romances. And I actually do think they've had a pretty decent amount of representation in hardback romance. Like, of the ones I've gotten from them, 2 are from Helen Huang, and as you guys are about to see, the other one is The Boyfriend Project from Farrah Rashan. And they had Talia Hibbert's Get a Life, Chloe Brown last year. I mean, like, I think they've actually done in romance, at least since I've been paying attention the last couple of years, a pretty good job of having some level of diversity. So with that in mind, for now I'm going to keep it. I do think that Book of the Month Club, if they are able to follow through on this action plan, this is a huge mover of books. And so this is a huge opportunity and a huge platform for people of color, queer people whose voices are just generally like not always heard by some of the kind of like more stereotypically Book of the Month Club kind of consumers. This is a good way for them to have exposure. And so I kind of want to, you know, to me, part of what you're doing with activism or like raising concerns is you're hoping to see change. And this is a situation where I think we have some indications that maybe we're going to actually have some change. So I'm going to kind of keep my eye on it, monitor the situation. We'll see how things evolve. Time will tell. I understand if there's other people who don't feel comfortable with that. I hear you. For me, that's kind of how I'm going to approach it for now. I like to reward companies when they do what in my view is the right thing. Like for instance, I've recently started rebuying from KVD Beauty because my main problem with that company is now gone. And they responded to, I think it's pretty obvious, they responded to consumer pressure to change the leadership in that company. So we'll see how it goes, but I do just want to throw this in here because that whole thing had not materialized at the time of filming. Anyway, back to the video. So I went ahead and picked up a physical copy of Beach Read by Emily Henry because I had an e-arc of this that I read and really, really enjoyed. One of my favorite arcs that I've read so far this year. I just really love this and I wanted to get it in a hardback edition, so I picked this up as an add-on, but my main pick was The Boyfriend Project by Farah Rashan. Now, I've actually never read a book by Farah Rashan, but she's somebody who I've followed on Twitter for a very long time and enjoy there. And I've seen a lot of really good early hype for this book. So when I saw that it was a pick for Book of the Month Club, I was honestly just super excited for her. And considering I'd already heard good things about it, I decided to go for it. And I don't know, do you know like when people you don't actually know in real life, but you follow online have good things happen to them? You just feel like glad and you want to support them. That was just kind of how I honestly felt about this. So I believe that this kind of has the same energy. What is that? John Tucker Must Die. Do you remember that teenage rom-com from back in the day? It has that same energy of like this one guy's been catfishing all these girls. They find out about it and kind of like gang up on him. So I just think that this will be real fun and lighthearted, which I need in these times. Okay, one book I picked up for book club. So we are doing a book club in my boss's org. We are doing a little book club and we are reading Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate, which is so I helped pick this and we decided to go with this one because we felt like it was a very good book clubby kind of pick because it's historical fiction. It's set in Tennessee, which is where we live. And it's about, I think, like some nefarious dealings with this orphanage. And the coworker who I was organizing this with had read it and really liked it. And we kind of landed on it. It sounds like it's a book that has like enough depth to have discussion, but it doesn't get too real because in a work book club, you don't want to get too real. But anyway, so this is historical fiction. I think that this will be fun. Like I said, I helped pick it. It's set in the 1930s, it looks like. So Memphis, South Carolina. Yeah, anyway, this is for work book club. And then a couple of price drops that I took advantage of while I could. So first of all, The Scent of Almonds and Other Stories by Camilla Lackberg. This I got from Book Depository. I was looking at my wish list and I noticed it had dropped down to $6. So I was like, sure, let's do that. And this is an isolated closed circle mystery that I had my eye on. I think it's basically like a novella. I want to say it's like 130-ish pages with like maybe 2 other little short stories in here with it. But I think that this will be just a nice little example of an isolated closed circle mystery. And speaking of mystery, I got this nonfiction University Press book, and the deal, guys, that I got on this, let me tell you. Okay, so this is Gender and Representation in British Golden Age Crime Fiction, Women Writing Women by Megan Hoffman. And I'd had my eye on this, and when I put this on my wish list, it was $100. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll just see. I basically put it on my wish list to keep track of it as like, I want to read that someday, but also as like a, let's just see what the price does on this. So it had dropped after that to like the 70s, and I was like, okay, that's still a lot, but you know, if I get like a gift card or something, maybe I would go for it. Okay, so it dropped down to, I think, I want to say $45 or $50, and then I had $40-ish worth of like, I think credit or a gift card, I can't remember. So I had like $40 that were not mine. And so that was going to make this like, I think I ended up paying $8 for this. So this was a deal. was really excited about this. This is the power of patience, waiting for a price drop, combined with happenstance of having, oh yeah, I had gift card left over for something I want at work. That's what it was. So I took that, I applied it to this. I got this for $8, even though it's an expensive ass academic publishing. And the reason I want to read this, you can probably tell from the title, but it's specifically talking about gender in popular British crime fiction from like the Agatha Christie, Dorothy Sayers era, and that is a topic I'm very interested in. So, the thrill of the deal. And then before we move to the mystery box, I have 3 that basically just come from, I guess kind of similar to Farrah Rashan, authors I like / authors I like recommending me something. So first of all, I have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This was recommended on Twitter by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, who wrote my all-time favorite YA mystery series, which is The Naturals. And she said, if you like The Naturals, you should try this. And I was like, okay, thanks, let's get on this. So I scooped this right up. I honestly don't know anything beyond that. If you like The Naturals, you'll like this. It's some kind of YA mystery. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Just on the strength of that recommendation from the author of the series I like so much, I went for it. Then I also got from Book Depository Strangers by C.L. Taylor. So I want to mention to my US viewers, C.L. Taylor is not really sold here in the US, which is such a shame. So I read Sleep from her last year. And I picked it up at random. I saw it on a book table when I was in London for work. I went to a bookstore, it was on the table, and it looked like an isolated closed circle mystery. It was indeed. And it was really good. And then she was also on the panel I hosted along with Elizabeth Thomas. And she just seems like such a delight. Like, she was so lovely. And she sold me on trying her newest book. So it took a while to get here, but it finally arrived. So Strangers is a kind of thrillery thing. It's got 3 points of views. It says like Ursula thinks she killed the love of her life. Gareth's been receiving strange postcards, and Alice is being stalked. And it says 3 strangers, 2 secrets, 1 terrifying event. It sounds like these guys are kind of thrown into a terrifying situation and they all have to figure it out. So again, I really liked her and she sold me on trying another book from her. And I really hope she gets a US publisher at some point because we always need more good mystery authors. And then finally, The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa. I saw her, Alyssa Cole has been hosting these like online romance panels through a bookshop in DC Friday nights, and they're super fun. I've gone to a couple of them. Mia Sosa just sold the hell out of this book. I'd already heard good things about this before I picked it up. I saw that people were enjoying it, but she just seemed great, and she also sold me on the book. I read this and I did really enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. This is very charming. I think it's a little too long. It takes, like, I think some of the front part of the book probably should have gotten added into the back part of the book, if that makes sense, in terms of like allocation of time in the story. But aside from that, the characters are super charming. The writing is really nice. And this is just fun. If you are looking for sort of like a hate to love workplace romance kind of thing, I think you'll like this. So anyway, that was another one I picked up sort of on the strength of the author. And with that, it's mystery box time again. So I have another mystery box from Parnassus, and here's the story. I mean, the bottom line is I'm a sucker for a mystery box, but really what it was I got it late in the month. I'm trying to make sure I'm still buying regularly from my local bookstores. The problem is that my local bookstores often would need to order something for me, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted them to order. So I was like, I want to buy something from Parnassus, and I noticed that they had added genres to their mystery box offerings, and I noticed that they had added the ability to tell them something about what you wanted them to put in. So this time I decided to do a sci-fi fantasy box, and what did I tell them? I told them that I like character-driven sci-fi fantasy, I like interesting worlds, and I wanted something like kind of off the beaten path. And then I also told them that if there was an element of like some kind of diversity or something different than what we normally see in that respect, that was also something I was into. So we shall see what they did. And I got to go and do contactless pickup. So that was great and very easy to do. If you were in Nashville, very low drama. You just roll down your back window and they plop it right in your car. So first of all, we have this very cheerful, fun tissue paper. We have more of these guys. I do really like the box that they put this in, by the way, because it's good for reuse in terms of like packing. Okay, so I'm gonna take this, plop it over here. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to make sure I pick this up or else my cats will have an actual field day. Okay, oh, well, interesting. I already see what the book is. Okay, so first of all, things that are not the books. First, I've got You're Kind of a Legend, which is like this little pencil pouch. So that's fun. I can always use something like that to stick in my briefcase when I'm going, if I ever actually get to go back to work, to hold on to my pens. And then, oh, they're like patches. It's Heartlit Book Power iron-on patches. So it's books, not bombs, book power, and I like big books and I cannot lie. So this is super cute. I'm trying to think, do I have something I could even iron this on? Do I even own an iron? How about that? I don't know that I do. So we've got that, more pencils. So I got these last time. These are really cute and I like the way they have them packaged. So some Parnassus pencils. And then, so the first and only book in this, and I will say that is a disappointment because last time I got 2 books, so that was kind of what I was expecting. I only got 1 book this time, and it is a book that I already have, which is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. So they definitely picked something good based on what I told them, with the exception of not off the beaten path, and that was part of why I mentioned that, was because I wasn't sure if they were gonna really give me something that was a little bit more unique, and this is like a big hit right now, so I'm a little disappointed about that. That being said, I mean, I've heard this is great. I haven't read it yet. So what I think I will do with this is I'm actually shockingly already close to 15,000 subscribers. So I think on Instagram, probably I'll do a giveaway of this. Probably will keep it to just the US because of how supply chains are going right now. So I'm sorry about that, but I will do a giveaway of this over on Instagram, so go check that out. And I will say I'm a little disappointed this time because it just, I mean, this is the risk, this is the gamble one plays when one gets a mystery box. I guess just since last time I had gotten 2 books, I figured that was kind of my calculus. I was like, even if I've read one of them, I probably won't have read both. And then this time it was only 1 book and it's one I already have. So I am a little disappointed, but I do still think this is a fun idea. And if you were looking for mystery boxes, Parnassus has them, and they have them in a bunch of different genres now. And like I said, you can give them some instructions. And I will say, aside from the off the beaten path, this does match what I told them, because this does, I think, have a pretty unique world setup. N.K. Jemisin is Black. I can see probably the character driven bit of this as well. So like I said, I think I will go ahead and do a giveaway of this over on Instagram. This does motivate me to go ahead and read this so that whomever receives it and I can both have read it. A little bit of a loss today in the mystery box game, but you can't win them all. And I'm always still glad to support my independent bookstore. Alrighty, so that will do it for this month's haul. Definitely let me know what you thought of any of the books that I hauled. Let me know if you've picked up any books recently that you're really excited to read, etc. And yeah, I think that will do it for now. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias if you are so inclined. I have all that information listed in the description box below, and I think that will do it. I hope you are having an absolutely lovely day today, and I will just talk to you soon. Bye.